I am Dr. Gullapalli N Rao, founder chair of LV Prasad Institute in Hyderabad. What I'm going to discuss with you today is the topic of universal eye health. As all of you know, universal health coverage has been an aspiration of every single country in the world, from Afghanistan to America. But just about every country is struggling with that because the optimal way of delivering care to every citizen has not been achieved by any country in the world so far. And in India is no exception. In India, we have been struggling with it for a long time. And I have a feeling we'll struggle with it for a long time to come, because we don't have all the elements in place that are required to actually achieve universal health coverage. While I don't want to go into the general universal health coverage, I would like to speak with you some of the thinking and the experiences in the area of eye health coverage. When we talk of universal coverage, we have to include all the components. That is the prevention programs, the treatment part in hospitals, and then the rehabilitation. If you look at the situation in our country, prevention programs probably happen very well only when we do on a mission mode, like polio plus. But anything like universal vaccination and all, we do very poorly compared to our neighboring countries also. So a lot has to be done in that area. Treatment, we have several islands of excellence. But if you look at the uniform basic standard of care across the country, it's grossly suboptimal. A lot has to be done in that area. And if you talk of rehabilitation, we hardly have any good examples of rehabilitation throughout the country. You can name a very few across the country, while the magnitude of disabilities that we have is enormous. So that's the current situation. A number of programs are coming up, and I hope one of them will work. And when we look at the eye health, for example, about 20 years ago, in February 1999, the World Health Organization, in partnership with the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, launched a global initiative to eliminate all avoidable blindness called Vision 2020, the right to sight. So we are coming to an end of that program, 20 years. But whatever has been the aspiration at that time, a lot of it has not been achieved. So we still have a lot of gaps. In India, for example, we have become a poster case for success story in cataract surgery. That's because in the early 90s, we were doing about 1.5 million cataract surgeries in our country. Now it's gone up to about 6.5 million. A big jump, no question about it. Multiple factors have contributed to that success. But still, we have a huge residual backlog of cataract in the country. We have significant inequities in terms of geography, gender, socioeconomic status throughout the country. That has to be sorted out to tackle the residual part of the cataract problem. And the other thing, what has happened over the years is, in India, we have targeted cataract and approached that in a mission mode with few centers, few people doing large volumes. But that's not a sustainable model. In my view, the first thing that needs to be done in the area of cataract is to make at least 15,000 of the 25,000 ophthalmologists we have in the country to perform 4 to 5 surgeries every single working day. If that happens, then we will continually be able to tackle the problem of cataract. So second problem that in the area of eye care in India is the uncorrected refractive errors. In fact, it's a shame that in the year 2020, we have a problem like that where it could be corrected with 150, 200 rupees per person and a huge volume of this. This is because we never looked at that problem seriously. We don't have proper solutions as of now, the delivery mechanisms of service as well as the needed spectacles. That has to be fixed. With the development of multiple primary eye health centers across the country, almost as many as 20,000 are required. The third is we talked about for the 20 years ago about dealing with diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, childhood blindness. We only at best achieved some kind of framework to tackle those. There is no unanimity of opinion on how to deal with diabetic retinopathy or glaucoma as of now. So that needs to be done, and the way to do it is more ophthalmologists getting training in this area, more hospitals developing the infrastructure to tackle the problems, and cascade the care of glaucoma and diabetic retinopathy as much as possible to secondary and primary levels of care. So the fourth problem we have is in the area of education. I think as all of us know, the ophthalmology residency training has a lot to be desired, the quality of it, and that has to be fixed. The number one requirement there is quality of faculty. Unless we improve the quality of faculty, our educational programs can never be improved. So that should be a target for the next 10 years. And then we also have to get into leveraging the advances that are made in all forms of technology, eventually leading to applications of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and how best we can leverage all that to reach more people and provide greater coverage throughout the country through these mechanisms. And in research, we are still in infancy in India in eye research. We still have a long way to go. Only few institutes are involved in research. The most important requirement is to encourage those who are doing well. And the second is to somehow instill that spirit of inquiry among our youngsters in medical schools and the postgraduate students doing their residency training. Because we just don't have culture of research in our medical colleges. That has to be corrected if we have to make any mark in research, addressing our own problems, not for the global concerns, but our own national concerns. So these together, if we can work on in some sense for the next 10 years in a mission mode through the All India Ophthalmological Society and the entire ophthalmologist group in the country, I believe by 2030 we have a chance to become a model for the rest of the developing world.